Now, GRE is a sectional adaptive test. It is section wise adaptive. When I say it is section wise adaptive, it means that how you perform in the first verbal reasoning section is going to decide the difficulty level of the next verbal reasoning section, and same goes with quant reasoning. Now, the first verbal reasoning section is usually a medium section. Now, the difficulty level of the questions is not divided in three parts. It's not easy, medium, hard. It is divided between 1 to 5, 1 being the easiest and 5 being the hardest. Now, the first section, when I say is going to be medium, it doesn't mean that only level 3 or level 2 questions are going to be there. No, it is going to be an assorted mixture of all levels of questions, wherein the ratio of questions with level 3 and level 4 is going to be higher than the ratio of questions of level 1, 2 and 5. Now, if you perform well in the first medium section, the next section is going to be harder. Now, when I say it is going to be harder, it means that the ratio of questions with level 5 and level 4 is going to be far greater than the ratio of questions with level 1, 2 and 3. Now, that's what we mean by section-wise adaptive nature of the test. Now, how does this adaptive nature impact your score? Now, if in case you did not perform well in the first section of verbal, supposedly, let's take verbal only for example right now. In the first section, out of 20, supposedly you got 8 correct, which is a poor performance in the first section. Now, the second section is going to be easier because it is a poor performance. Now, in the next section, out of 20, supposedly you got 13 correct. Now, 13 plus 8 is equal to 21. So, technically your score should be 130 plus 21, 151. However, that will not be the case. Because the second section was easy, it was easier. The number of questions which were of level 5 were absent, level 4 was very less, level 1, 2 and 3 were very high. Thus, the penalization for wrong questions is going to be more because it is an easy section. So, if you got 7 wrong, the deduction will not be for 7 wrong questions, it will be for 8 to 9 wrong questions. So, your score will range in between 148 to 150, not more than that, usually not more than that. Now, this is a hypothetical example. We cannot give you exact numbers because there are too many complexities involved in the algorithm for calculating your score. Now, mind you, every question has same weightage. It is the weightage of the section which changes with the number of questions you are getting right or wrong and according to the difficulty level of the section. Okay. Now, just to see it in a reverse order, to understand how important it is for you to perform well in the first section, I am going to reverse the number of correct questions. I am going to put 8 here. You got 8 in the second section, not 13, and in the first section you got 13 correct. So, 13 in the first section, now it means that the next section is going to be hard. So, the ratio of level 4 and level 5 questions is going to increase, level 1 is going to be almost absent and level 2, 3 will be very less, approximately 2 or 3 questions. Now, the next section is hard and you got 8 correct. Again, the score is of 21 out of 40. However, now your score, because you perform well in the first medium section, the score is going to rise because the next section is harder and now penalization for 12 wrong questions is not going to be 12, it is going to be somewhere close to 9. So, approximately, again it is an approximate idea. So, instead of your score being 151, your score is going to be somewhere close to 153 to 155. So, that will be your score. Now, this is how the sectional adaptive nature of the test is going to impact your scores. Now, there is another tricky part in GRE. There is also the unscored section. The difficulty level is not impacted by the performance in the unscored section. So, my advice would be, do not bother about the difficulty level of the section. Keep on performing your best. Don't try to guess the difficulty level of the section. You have to perform in all the sections pretty well. Okay, don't bother about it, but make sure that the first two verbal sections, if the third section is also verbal, the unscored one, try to perform better in the first few ones, because if the first section was unscored, then the second section will remain the medium, but the third section should get harder because that is going to be the scored one. So you need to perform well in the first few sections. Just keep that in mind and don't try to guess the difficulty level yourself.